What's going on, everybody? Welcome to today's video, reacting to 10 really useful guitar hacks and tricks 2024 by Sam Jam Guitar. So what's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be reacting to 10 really useful guitar hacks and tricks 2024 by Sam Jam Guitar. If you have not already, go over to Sam Jam Guitar and give him a sub. Also, I've included the original link for the video in the description of my video down below. Please click on it and give the original video a like. And also on this video, my video, leave a comment on what you'd like to see me react to next. And let us get to it.
Hacks and tricks you need to know, starting with hack number 1. The most important step after putting on a brand new set of strings should be correctly stretching them in. If you've experienced the frustration of changing all your guitar strings only to have to keep retuning them every time you so much as touch the guitar, then you most likely have missed a very important step. After putting on a brand new set of strings and tuning them to pitch, simply stretch each string along the length of the neck and check your tuning. It should now be flat, so tune back up and repeat the process until the string holds its tuning. Repeat this process again for each string and you will have a guitar that stays perfectly in tune for much longer, allowing you to appreciate the sound of your new strings without them being a source of frustration.
Yes.
And here's a quick bonus tip. If you take any cloth and use it to slide up and down the length of the string while pulling, the friction of this process will cause the string to heat up and help to get the string used to its new tension. If you've just changed the strings on your guitar, you will be left with something that looks like this. Now what most people do here is reach for those string cutters. If you do this, you will be left with sharp ends which inevitably you will end up pricking your finger on. Instead, make one sharp bend clockwise and one sharp bend counterclockwise, and then simply wiggle the string back and forth a few times until...
What? Huh. This is why doing reaction videos are great. I quite often learn something. Just last night, I was actually doing work on my guitars due to coming across the Fret Kisser from Stuart McDonald and the Safe Zone file from Music Nomad from a reaction video that I did from, oh my God, why am I blanking on the guy's name? The Know Your Gear podcast. So because of that, I went into it. There's no way I'd be able to do fret leveling or crowning on my guitars. And after watching that video, I'm like, I'm going to buy those two tools and try it. And I'm 2.5 fret levelings in now. Yes, 2.5. 2 full fret levelings and one that I just did the 4 frets that were sticking out the spot leveling button. You learn quite a bit. I did not know that you could just... But if you do it that way, are they not sharp, though? Are they not sharp? I guess I'll find out when I do it next. That is quite interesting. I have to admit, I did not know that at all. And I'm not exactly new at all this stuff.
Until the string breaks, leaving you with a clean-looking headstock with no pointy strings of doom. If you have a loose screw anywhere on your guitar, then this can be remedied by using a simple item probably buried in the back of your kitchen cupboard. Simply fit as many toothpicks as you can into the hole, break off the ends, then put the screw back in and tighten it.
I can attest to this. I do this all the time, mainly with my strap pins, because what I do is I actually bolt my straps directly to my instruments. Every instrument has its own strap, and I put a washer on the other side. I don't use strap locks. I bolt them right on. And that does happen from time to time. But sometimes I'll go a step further. I'll cram in a little bit of toothpicks with some crazy glue, super glue, whatever you want to call it, CV glue, which I think is maybe not even that necessary. Just cramming the wood in there itself will help, that alone to help tighten up the screw and make a little bit more force for it to thread in. But yeah, I can attest for this personally. I've done it a good many a time.
It up. And now that your screw has something more to grip onto, it will stay put. Occasionally you will find that your strings will get caught in the nut slot of your guitar, causing tuning issues, especially during big bends or tuning. This is easily fixed with one of these. Simply sharpen a pencil and draw into each nut slot. As the graphite within a pencil works as a lubricant, this will allow the string to move much more freely without getting stuck. But if you don't like the thought of messing up the look of your nut with graphite, as this does get messy, then you could use a product built specifically for the job, such as Big Ben's Nut Sauce. If, like many guitarists, you spend the majority of your
Big Ben's Nut Sauce. Do I even need to say anything about that at all? You got to have fun with it, right? You know, you're already talking about the nut for the guitar, so you got to have a little fun with it, right?
your playing or practicing time sat down, then when you eventually go to perform live and are required to play standing up, this can cause issues, as you discover that nothing you play feels quite as comfortable as it did before. The simple fix for this one is setting your strap height correctly. Take a seat and set your strap height.
Another thing that I can attest to that I've been preaching for years, I learned this in my first year of playing bass from Billy Sheehan saying that. He pointed that out. You ever see guys that sit down and they can wail, whether it be guitar or bass? They sit down, they're wailing, and they stand up and they play like Slash with the guitar hung low. Everything, when you're practicing to play properly, the bone structure in your hand, everything in it, the curvature of your fingers is set up a certain way. When you stand up and it's lower, that changes all that. Oh yeah, I've known this one for years too. Yet another good hack that I can absolutely attest to all day long.
So that when you stand up, the guitar doesn't move position at all. This way you should feel just as comfortable in a seated or standing playing position. If you own a Strat style guitar, you will most likely have encountered one very common issue that can soon put an end to that soaring guitar solo. The placement of the volume knob on S-type guitars can easily get in the way while playing, and as these are so easy to move, you will find that your volume can go from 10 to 0 in one misaimed strum. So here's one DIY hack to solve this issue.
Nice.
Take any household sponge and cut to size. Poke a hole through the center and take the volume knob off. Place the sponge on the volume pot and place the knob back on again. You will now find it becomes far harder to move the volume knob back and forth. You can also use a rubber washer or even a Fender strap lock cut to size for even more.
That's a good one. What I want is, I remember seeing it, I think it was on Samurai Guitar's channel, a little thing for the 5-way switch that locks in. It's like a little blade locking thing. It's just this little tiny piece of plastic, so that way you're not bumping that switch. I bump the 5-way switch a lot more than I bump the volume on a Strat style guitar.
More friction. And if you're not too bothered about aesthetics, you could do what I do and simply take it off. If you've experienced scratchy or noisy sounding pots on your electric guitars, then there's a simple fix. Grab yourself a can of switch cleaning lubricant, the most popular being Deoxit. Simply open up your guitar to gain access to the pots. You will see a clear opening in which you can place the nozzle. One small spray will do the job, and afterwards move the knob back and forth a few times to make sure it gets spread evenly. This also works on noisy pickup selectors and is much simpler. Spray it directly into the pickup selector and toggle it back and forth a few times. In fact, go ahead and use this on input jacks, cleaner, amp knobs, and guitar pedals. It's pricey, but it will keep your gear well maintained and noise free. If you're sick of guitar strings getting dirty and rusty, forcing you to change strings way more often than you would like, it may be time to switch to elixirs. These strings are protected by a special coating, preventing.
Now, you see, going way back, like 20 or so years ago when elixirs first came out, if it wasn't elixirs, it was another brand like Elixirs that had the coated strings and actually gave them to me for free because I was a full-time working musician playing both bass guitar and acoustic guitar, both regularly. I did gigs with bands where I was the lead vocalist and frontman, and I was also the bass player in the bands, and I was doing solo acoustic gigs. So bass guitar strings as well as acoustic guitar strings being used quite regularly. Yes, I remember they lasted a lot longer. They kept the tone, but something about that polyweb formula, it just had a feel to it that I didn't like. Maybe it's time for me to revisit some sort of coated string, especially since the guitar and bass collection is now at 22 strong now. Ew. Yowzers. Yeah, but I didn't really like the feel of them. That was it for me. Just something about the feel didn't feel right. But a lot of people swear by them, and they last a lot longer, and it's a lot more budget friendly. If you can get a lot more life out of your strings, then absolutely.
Everyday gunk from building up between the windings, killing your tone and causing rust and tuning issues. These strings have a long lifespan and also minimize finger squeak. I have these on all my guitars and I highly recommend them. If you're at a band rehearsal and want to play something from your phone, it can be hard for a small device to be heard over the sound of the drummer or guitarist that feels in between songs is the perfect time to be practicing the latest lick or fill. Solve this by holding your phone up to your guitar's pickup and crank up the volume. Ideally though, you should always have one of these in your gig bag so that you can plug your phone directly into a mixer.
PA.
You can also play sounds through your guitar pickups to create interesting soundscapes using a loop pedal. Interesting soundscapes using a loop pedal. Interesting soundscapes using a loop pedal. And for the biggest hack of all, if you haven't been progressing on guitar as fast as you think you should, and are struggling with topics such as the cage system for guitar, chord construction, or how to solo effectively, then consider subscribing to my channel for weekly animated guitar lessons that get straight to the point. And let me know your favourite guitar hacks or tricks down in the comments. See you in the next one.
All right, that was 10 really useful guitar hacks and tricks 2024 by Sam Jam Guitar. As always, if you have not already subscribed to Sam Jam Guitar, go over and give him a sub now, as well as I put the link for the original video in the description of my video down below. Go ahead and click on that and give the original video a like. And on my video, this video, leave a comment on what you'd like to see me react to next. Thanks for checking out this video. If you like what you saw, please subscribe, click the notification bell, like, comment, and share. It doesn't cost a thing and would really help out the channel. Also, please subscribe to my other channel, GK Mac Music, for some live looping live streams with a side of jackassery, some original music, and some short content, also with a side of jackassery. If you'd like to help out the channel financially, you can buy some merch at the merch store, or you can become a channel member. As always, everyone, thanks so much for your continued support. Do what makes you happy.